It's time! And now, introducing your host, fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, by way of Boston, Massachusetts, presenting live,
the Bostonian versus the Book. Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus the Book.
Here he is, Matt Perrault!
Enjoy the show, enjoy the show, enjoy the show, enjoy the show.
What's up, Brigade? How are you on a Wednesday? Welcome into a new episode of the Bostonian versus the Book, BvB, as we call it. My name is Matt Perrault. We're live on X and on YouTube at Boston versus the Book. We're replayed on Sports Grid TV every weeknight, 1 a.m. Eastern time, and replayed audio-wise wherever you guys get your audio podcasts. Today on the show, we've already recorded this conversation, but I'm excited to play it for you guys. Whenever Emerson Lotzia from DraftKings Sportsbook and whenever Fitzy stops on by from WEEI in Boston, it is a fun time. We're going to do an NFL roundtable free agency conversation that goes into all sorts of different conversations. Like, we talk football, but we also talk about my kid. We talk about baseball. We talk about New England. We bounce around. So get ready for what should be a very fun conversation that you guys will enjoy with Emerson, who has become, he's everywhere. I mean, Emerson, if you watched the UFC pay-per-view, the UFC 326 broadcast on Paramount Plus, if you watched that, you saw a whole lot of Emerson. So he's coming on. Fitzy, it's Fitzy. I mean, from the afternoon show on WEEI in Boston, it will be a lot of fun to get his take on everything happening in the sports world as well. So stay tuned for that conversation. Maxx Crosby is our opening line. What the heck happened? And Maxx Crosby is a Raider as of right now because Trey Hendrickson is now a Raven. What in the heck went down here? They signed Hendrickson today after declining the physical of Maxx Crosby, which he was never going to pass. What in the heck happened here? Was this a new leverage play by the Ravens? Is this the new dirty time of negotiating with agents that they basically knew they would have this out clause because today is the start of the new league year? And until we got to 4 p.m. Eastern time today, no trade could be made official. No deal can be made official. And so the Ravens technically did nothing wrong. But, and that but is what we will talk about during the opening line. We'll jump down the rabbit hole today talking about Team USA baseball, brought to you by our friends at Rabbet app. What was that last night against Italy? How did Mark DeRosa not know that Team USA had not advanced, that they needed to win that game to guarantee themselves a spot in the knockout round? This is Team USA. This is the World Baseball Classic. We're hosting it. How does this happen? Like, this is inexcusable on so many different levels. He sat starters yesterday. He said the guys were hungover. Guys were dragging. He was throwing just guys like everybody on Team USA is a talented Major League Baseball player, but he didn't throw our A game out there, and Italy's good. The number of Italian-American baseball players that are on that roster, they've got 5 arms that are legitimate starters in Major League Baseball. They got guys who are raking right now, hitting the cover off the ball. And Team USA took it easy. They took their foot off the gas, and now they got to watch Italy and Mexico play today at 4 p.m. Eastern, and they got to beg, they got to plead, they got to hope. The tie-breaking scenario is wild. If you guys haven't seen how the World Baseball Classic determines who comes out of the pool, oh my. Well, we'll get into all that coming up during the rabbit hole, and then we'll do picks today as well. A couple of games in college basketball that I've bet that we can get into. I had a horrific day yesterday. After talking about all, like, running my mouth, right? Going like, this is such a great time to bet. It's better to bet the conference tournaments. I went 0-6 yesterday on my conference tournament bets. Nice job, Matt. I was great last week. I was tremendous, but not this week. Not yesterday. Yesterday was bad. All three of the bets I had during the opening line yesterday missed. That was not fun. So hopefully things can turn around. Hopefully things can get better, and we can figure out how to go through this here. So Emerson and Fitzy coming up here in just 1 second. We'll start the show real quickly. For those who do end up celebrating this, if you know what today is, it's Happy 311 Day. For those of you who celebrate, congratulations. Happy we have made it to another 311 Day. If you don't know what that is, it is March the 11th. The band 311 celebrates 311 Day, 311, March 3rd, March the 3rd month, 11th day. So for those of us who are in our 40s and enjoyed 311 quite a bit during our younger days, I don't think I've ever told the story of being pulled over coming back from Worcester when I was in college going to see 311. I'm not sure I've ever told that story on the air. Maybe one day we'll tell that story, because I've never been harassed by police before that. I haven't been harassed by police after that, but my friends and I were harassed by police that night coming back from 311 in Worcester, Massachusetts. And I believe the year was 1996. If my memory serves me correctly, that was the year that happened. So happy 311 Day for those of you who do end up celebrating. Let's start the show talking about Maxx Crosby. What comes next for the Raiders? What comes next for Maxx Crosby? And did the Raiders do the Ravens, or so did the Ravens do the Raiders dirty for the opening line? So we all had this conversation about what to do with the Raiders and Maxx Crosby, right? Leading in, it was like, if they get 2 first-round picks, Maxx Crosby should be traded, right? If someone's going to give the Raiders 2 first-round picks, you should trade Maxx Crosby. I was on the camp of trading Maxx Crosby and also trading the first pick in the draft, but the Ravens traded a first this year and a first next year for Maxx Crosby. The Ravens had never traded a first-round pick before for a player. This is not what Baltimore does. This is completely out of character for the Ravens to do this. So when they traded for Maxx Crosby, it was like, wow, that's a big, big splash. So much so that we talked about it yesterday. The books moved the Ravens to 11.5 wins for next year. No other team right now was at 11.5 wins. They then moved the Ravens to the odds-on favorite to win the AFC. They also moved the Ravens into a position where they're going to be one of the thoughts to win the Super Bowl, one of the shortest odds to win the Super Bowl. Maxx Crosby's trade moved the needle way more than I thought it was going to, because the 29-year-old moving over to play for the Ravens, the thought is that it's the perfect fit for Mike Minter's defense, and he's going to be able to come in and just, destroy a very bad division in the AFC North. But then we started to figure out, or hear trickles, that this thing was not going to happen the way that we thought. And all of a sudden, it fell through. The Raiders make the announcement that the Ravens had backed out of the trade agreement because Maxx Crosby reportedly failed a physical on his injured knee. But here's the problem. Maxx Crosby had surgery to repair a meniscus that, at the time when he was shut down by Alex Guerrero and the Raiders, they shut him down thinking it was a slightly torn meniscus. When they went in there, they found out it was a completely torn meniscus, and that Max needed multiple months of rehab to recover after the surgery. Everybody knew this. This was not news. The Ravens were aware of the physical. The Ravens were aware of what was happening. And then the Ravens said, well, he failed the physical, so we can't trade for him. But everybody knew that Maxx Crosby was not going to be able to pass a physical because he just had surgery. So what went on here? The doctor who operated on Maxx Crosby told ESPN, quote, Maxx Crosby is doing very well in the early part of his rehab and recovery from surgery to treat a significant meniscus tear and the related stress injury to the bone and cartilage in his knee. He is certainly on track in his planned program. He feels very well and is already much improved compared to before the surgery. Maxx Crosby was on his way to the Raiders facility this morning at 5:30 a.m. He was on Instagram posting pictures of him heading into the rehab facility here in Las Vegas for the Raiders. As the doctor continued, we truly respect the work of the Ravens staff with Maxx regarding the contract physical exam. We also understand the challenge the staff faces when tasked to provide a future risk assessment based on an evaluation early in the recovery process. This is especially challenging when dealing with an elite player like Maxx, considering the level of commitment necessary for a team to obtain him. The timing of this assessment is unfortunate because of the apparent risk will lessen as his recovery progresses and his return to performance over the next few months becomes clear. Everyone knew what Maxx Crosby was dealing with. Everybody knew that Maxx Crosby had surgery. What are we doing? What did the Ravens uncover? What did they just figure out? Oh, they realized they could sign Trey Hendrickson. That's what happened. They realized that they could sign a player that would not allow them, would not have to force them to give up a first-round pick and another first-round pick. They could just give the guy money and keep their picks. 4 years, $112 million agreed to today by the Ravens with Trey Hendrickson. Not only Trey Hendrickson, you're going to injure a divisional rival by taking the best defensive player from the Bengals in your division and put him on your roster. But the question will be how this unfolded. The question will be, when did they get this deal done? And the question will be, when was the deal presented? And I do think there needs to be an investigation into what the Ravens did here, because I'm not buying it. By all accounts, and all NFL reporters are coming out and putting it out there saying the Ravens were well aware of what the knee situation was with Maxx Crosby before they traded for Maxx Crosby. If this was a different owner, I'm not sure the NFL wouldn't have a full-blown scandal on their hands. But because it is an owner who has relatively low standing in the league, and Mark Davis is a really hands-off owner, he doesn't really get involved all that much. He's not front and center. He's not somebody who you see at press conferences. He doesn't call into talk shows. He doesn't go on TV consistently trying to make headlines. But in this instance, I wish he would. I wish he would go and try to get Steve Bisciotti, the owner of the Ravens, into a conversation about what the hell did you guys do? Because we signed a bunch of guys with the idea that Maxx was not going to be part of our team. And we thought we were going to have multiple first-round picks this time in April to not only take Mendoza, but the 14th pick in the draft. That's what we thought we were getting. We were going to have 2 of the first 15 picks in the draft. We liked our positioning. We liked where we were. And so the team had to come out and say to Albert Breer and others that they will honor the agreements made with free agents, multiple, over the last 24, 48 hours, despite the stunning development of last night. All options remain in play for Maxx Crosby. Vegas is certainly very open to keeping him, which might wind up happening. And I think Crosby would be fine staying with the Raiders because he likes playing in Las Vegas because he has complete and total control. Nobody asks him to do anything he doesn't want to do. Maxx is untouchable here. So I get it. Why not stay here? But he doesn't like Alex Guerrero. He doesn't like Tom Brady by reports. And so there's an issue there. Now, the new head coach and Clint Kubiak could come in and make that all right. And his position coach just became the defensive coordinator. So you got to think he's going to like the scheme that the Raiders are going to run. But this is difficult for the Raiders to say, we don't want you anymore, and now we have you back. Because if they do want to trade Maxx Crosby, they're not getting 2 first-round picks. Nobody's giving them 2 first-round picks. They'll be lucky to get 1 now. So you're going to get 40 or 50 cents on the dollar from Maxx Crosby because of what the Ravens have done here. No team's going to match it. Maybe there might be somebody who really wanted Maxx Crosby who might pick the phone up and say, okay, let's see what we can get him for. But they're not going to offer what they were offering originally. What I think happens, I think the Ravens got cold feet. I think the Ravens realized they have never traded a first-round pick for a player before, and they choked. They simply choked and said, no, we can't do this. And they had Trey Hendrickson either on the hook or close to the hook, and then go ahead and say, hey, we're going to trade for Max. And then somebody called and said, hey, you can get Trey. We'll take the offer. We'll take it now. You don't have to accept the deal. You don't have to trade your first round picks. It's just money and you can get Trey. And then they went ahead and did the deal. There needs to be an investigation. Look, there needs to be some level as to how exactly it went down, because I get it. They didn't break any rules. But if this is how the league going to operate going forward, the quote legal tampering period needs to go away. Because this impacts so many players. It impacts the Raiders. It impacts the Ravens. It impacts the entire NFL, the way everyone's operating, divisional opponents and whatnot. You can't just back out of a deal because, oh, well, yeah, no, sorry, we changed our minds. Huh? You changed your mind? Wait a minute. What? This should make everyone very wary about ever trading with the Ravens again. And it should also be looked at as this can't be allowed to be a practice that the teams are going to do in the league, because it makes everyone look bad, looks incompetent, and they're using it under the guise of him failing a physical. He was never going to pass a physical. Everyone knew this. Like, everyone knew Maxx Crosby was not going to fail. Was not going to pass a physical. He just had surgery 2 months ago. So what are we doing? You knew what the player had from an injury standpoint. You knew going into the trade what he had, and you knew that he was going to recover. At least you anticipated him to recover and be 95%, 100% back after the knee injury. So this to me is dirty. This to me is the Ravens realizing who they really were and backing out and going, yeah, that wasn't comfortable for us. Or somebody came over the top, Steve Bisciotti or somebody else came in and said, guys, you're doing this wrong. No, get out of this. Forget it. Like, somebody superseded whoever wanted that trade done in Baltimore, got overruled, and they used a clause to get out of it. Because I don't buy that the physical looked bad or the doctors for the Ravens said, hey, you shouldn't do this. I'm not buying that. Somebody came over the top and said, sorry. CG's asking, why would you do a physical? They have to. By league rules, you have to have a physical. That's just period rule. You must do that. So that's why. That's the issue. It's not over, because Maxx Crosby is a Raider. And how much longer will he be a Raider? I don't know. But the new league year begins in a couple of hours. And if you're going to trade Maxx Crosby, it probably needs to happen right now. Like, immediately. He may very well be a Raider. And to be honest, that might not be a bad thing for the Raiders. Let's continue that conversation and talk more about the NFL, free agency, and whatever else we got into. Emerson Lotzia from DK Sportsbook and our friend Fitzy from WEEI in Boston had a chance to talk to both of them earlier today here on BvB. What's up, guys? How are you? This is going to be a lot of fun. It is time for an NFL free agency roundtable with the one and only Fitzy from WEEI and our guy Emerson Lotzia from DK Sportsbook. I want to start this conversation with you, Emerson, because my kid is enamored with you. She thinks it's the coolest thing in the world that Emerson is sitting there on all the ads you are doing during the UFC, and I'm texting you and she's throwing insults at you while we're watching the UFC. Yeah. How much fun are you having right now flying around the country doing your real job?
I'm having a blast. It started in football season when I was called a red zone terrorist by really nice strangers on the internet.
I'm sorry. Can we just strike that from the broadcast, sir? If you don't be able to get that in post. Okay. Thank you.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah, when you get even more insulting.
Some dude tweeted at me the other day.
What, a dude tweeted at you? Get out of here.
Yeah, can you believe it? I like that. and he was like, "Is there a worse actor out there than Emerson Lotzia on these UFC commercials?" And I wanted to be like, "Buddy, I'm not acting. That's just me up there." And by the way, my acting career peaked in 5th grade when I got the lead role in the school play. It was Johnny Be Good. Johnny Be Good. Life hasn't been the same since then.
Yeah, he does. Honestly, you've got you have like the all. Oh yeah, I totally have that going on right now. I know. Somebody told me yesterday, I wore this when I was doing the afternoon show on WEEI, and somebody told me that I look like a rejected Cobra Kai member. Or like sad Bryce Harper. Harper. Like Bryce Harper's older brother, Rick. Oh man, my brother! I can't believe he popped out last night. Hey, by the way, love the fact that your daughter is hurling insults at Emerson while she's watching him on television, which means she's just like Emerson's wife and every other woman in America that he hopped out of a hotel bedroom at 2:30 in the morning at, number one. So love young lady Perrault. And number two,
what Emerson, she was saying to me. Matt was texting me, and I'm like, I feel like this chick really knows me.
She said Emerson looks like someone who would do cocaine at 3 a.m.
Which, before I got sober, she's not far off.
That's the 11-year-old's opinion of Emerson Lotzia.
Emerson, Dad, Emerson looks like the guy who actually lived the real-life version of The Hangover. Like he may have killed a giraffe before.
Yeah, I've had some moments
which is incredible
in Vegas before, similar to that.
Yeah, or anywhere. Whatever you do, what you got to do.
She said he's going to be on the news someday for doing something shady.
Yeah. Dad, your friend Emerson, there's a 90% chance he's laundered more than clothes before.
I'm like, how does she know me so well? I've never.
I just want to say, well, now that you're clean, sober, and ripped, it's easy to take a window into your soul and see what's going on. Like you drink Diet Coke on purpose at 11 a.m. God love you. But I just wanted to say real quick, not to turn this into one of those, but seriously, folks, Emerson, you've done an amazing job. But also at the same time, the fact that you DK'd it up for a long time, and then they saw the potential of you going on the road last year, all those tailgate videos you did. Like I had such FOMO and jealousy because that was similar to the gig I did 11 years ago that no one saw on CBS Sports Network. But now you're actually doing it with a budget in 4K, having a blast. Like I'm honestly legitimately thrilled for you.
Like, I'll be real with you guys. Like, I'm lucky as hell, man. I'm lucky as hell. I work for a great company. They treat me well. They let me go on the road and do weird shit, you know. And I mean, if I cross the line, they'd ask me to delete the tweet or something like that. But outside of that, like it's awesome, man. I wake up every day. I'm thankful for what I have and not what I want, man.
Emerson, great job on the tailgate video in Green Bay. If we could just talk about snuff a little less in the next tailgate.
Hey man, if you could delete that sauna picture of your hog off of your Instagram story,
please. Nobody really wants that. Like, yes, it's not professional.
Can you not go on BvB as much as talk about wearing assless chaps with Sherapan's mother?
Wait a second, that's not a glizzy.
Yeah, I think I do think it's interesting.
Glizzies don't have veins.
Well, you guys, that was more ads I think I can remember of seeing you. I've seen you on DK ads before, but from a USC pay-per-view perspective, it was like every other break was you.
Dude,
you were everywhere.
I missed it because I was out of town. When was that? Saturday night?
Yeah, Saturday night.
I totally missed it. Like, we shot a couple of those like a few weeks ago, and we have to shoot so many of the UFC ones, especially when they're fighter specific, because this guys will drop out like last minute, and then I guess they just ran with a bunch of that shit. But a couple of them were like me acting where it's like, whoa, did you see that? And I'm just like, I got this, guys. I was a theater major for 2 semesters at UCF. I know what I'm doing.
Oh my. All right. We are here to talk football. And Fitzy, I want to start with the Maxx Crosby and the Trey Henderson conversation with you, because I think this is really interesting. We're all conspiracy theorists on some level. And the fact that yesterday the Maxx Crosby news comes out that the Ravens have backed out of the deal. And then this morning we're finding out that they're going to take a division rival's best player and they're going to sign Trey Hendrickson. What's your read on how this went down? And then on the other side of it, we got to talk about the Tom Brady angle of this, because if Brady really did say, I'm not sending Crosby to the Patriots under no circumstances. I don't know if Tom wants the statue torn down or not in Foxborough, but he's sure acting like it.
Yeah, he really must not care in his air fryer selling, Hertz driving, dog cloning world what anybody in New England thinks about him anymore. He's like, listen, I got the 1960s protest statue outside of Gillette. I'm good now. I don't need anything else. I have closed the book. I have ended that chapter. I have moved on and reviewed Boston and my Patriots career. And that may be the case. And now, he's an ultimate capitalist and entrepreneur. Like Tom Brady cares about whatever is in the best interest of Tom Brady. And that's fine. Okay, all good by me. I just didn't need the no dog in the fight thing. And now, of course, everyone in the world is throwing the no dog in the fight line back at him regarding Baltimore or Maxx Crosby and their Raiders. How this goes down, like, to me, it reminded me of, like, did you ever, like, come home late one night, 3/4 in the bag, and then, I don't know, somehow you end up on some website or something, you wake up, and then the next morning you're like, oh, my God. Did I just buy a motorcycle on eBay? Oh, man, I got to see if I can undo this purchase immediately. You make a stupid drunk buy late at night. So that's what it feels like Baltimore did. Like, no. We can get this guy. We're re-signing Lamar. This is Jesse Minter's vision. We're going to get after it. We're going to not only win the division this year like we should have last year, but we're going to go to the Super Bowl because the AFC is wide open. The Patriots are a little bit of fool's gold to some still for some reason. Buffalo's imperfect. The Chiefs are on like they're in like 2009, 2010 of where the Patriots were in their double dynastic run. Duval has been cherry picked in the offseason. Houston still has CJ Stroud, which is a problem, and most doctors can't prescribe a cream to take care of that. So get after it. But then they don't love the medicals, and they back out. Why they didn't just look at it and go, wait a second. So Trey Hendrickson can give me 85% of what Maxx Crosby does, but Trey Hendrickson costs no draft picks, and Maxx Crosby costs 2 first-round picks. I think they came to their senses and just did the Homer Simpson back into the bushes thing and decided, memed out. And now the rest of the NFL is super, super duper pissed.
Well, I mean, you have until 4:00 today, right?
Today,
to back out. So if they were like, hey, let's think about this a little more.
The Ravens they've never traded a first round pick before. So it really was out of character for them to go ahead and do that. So, like, to keep your analogy going, Fitzy, about coming home at 2:00 in the morning, it's kind of similar to like the goody two-shoes girl that decides she wants to go and rage, and then all of a sudden realizing, like, that's not who I am. I'm not going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to stop that. And that was fun for Friday night, but I'm not doing that ever again. And kind of trying to like erase it from Instagram, like it never happened, and we're going to ignore it, and it never went down.
Because screen caps exist for a reason.
Yeah, like it's one of those things where, like, I feel like the Ravens just went, wait, hold on a second, guys. Like, are we really doing this with a guy who we don't know if the knee could actually hold up? And maybe the owner came in, maybe somebody higher up came in. It felt like an adult came into the room and said, hey, guys, this is all fun and good, but what the hell are you doing? Like, we're not trading a first round pick for a kid who might have a bad knee, who might not actually be able to perform. But if you're Maxx Crosby now, can you go back to the Raiders? Can you go back? You told them you want out. I mean, Emerson, it feels like the team is kind of stuck here because they kind of have to trade him, but now he's going to be worth what, 50 cents on the dollar?
Yeah, I mean, now he's saying he's just going to go back. He's going to train, continue to strengthen the knee, and just prepared, I guess, to play for the Raiders. He doesn't give a shit. He's getting paid either way.
Right.
He'll go out there and.
He was on Instagram at 5 a.m. this morning on his way to on his way to the facility. He was at 5 a.m. Pacific time. He was on his way to the Raiders to go work out.
And then I saw someone tweet out yesterday, kind of like the new look Raiders defense. I mean, this will be the best defense that I think he's played for, like, on that Raiders team. But 100%. Just go back to Brady real quick. What does he have, a 5% ownership stake? Can you remember anybody with that small of an ownership stake in a team who has this much control? Isn't it kind of weird?
Yeah, Fitzy's right. It's less than that. It's 5%.
He's a 2% minority owner, and from what I've heard, both he and his bowl cut alien overlord Mark Davis are complete absentee owners at this point. Okay. So while you say, or at least think, like, the facade, the aura, the specter of Tom Brady acts as the head of the Raiders. If you read that story a couple of weeks ago, the final straw for Maxx Crosby was the fact that freaking Alex Guerrero was basically running everything. Professor Pliability was like running the Raiders for Brady and Mark Davis. I shit you not.
That is fucking weird. I didn't know that.
But in all fairness, though, right? In all fairness to Alex Guerrero, he was right. I mean, Max had a torn meniscus. He was playing on it. He thought it was a partially torn. It was completely torn, but when they went in there to go fix it, it was completely torn. So Guerrero wasn't wrong to shut Max down for the last 2 games. They were tanking anyway, so they wanted to get a restart, or a head start on his rehab.
Yeah, he can work Massage Envy, but he shouldn't be a GM.
Fine, I'm with you there. But like he wasn't wrong to shut him down. The thing that's weird about what's going on here is that Mark Davis is notorious, and you're right, Fitzy. He is notorious for saying, even here in the market in Vegas, he says, look, I hire people to do the job. And that's what he's done with the Aces. He hired Becky Hammonds to run the Aces, to be the head coach, and she's won 3 championships for him. And it's worked in other parts of his career with other except in the NFL. It has not worked in the NFL for him just to go, hey, my girlfriend's 30 and I'm 75 and I'm going to go hang with her. Mm-hmm. And I don't really need to do all this drama stuff that you guys want to do. And I'm just hoping the team wins 8 games, 9 games. And you guys think that everything's perfect.
So the problem with that is, and I've seen it in Jacksonville for a majority of Khan's tenureship, it's like, okay, you can be that kind of owner if you have the right guys in place who you can trust. But when things continue just being dog shit, like it has for Jacksonville until they went out and got Gladstone and Liam Cohen, it's like, bro, are you not looking at the product like on the field? But in the end, the value of all these teams goes up like every year. So you can suck in the NFL, and as an owner, you're going to make a shit ton of money every year, no matter if your record is 3-14 or 14-3.
Well, that's here.
It's wild.
Raiders' valuation has gone through the roof since they moved to here. They're a top 10 team now, and they've won nothing.
Oh, the stadium helps. The state, I mean, they'll always have the iconic look. They've got the great stadium, which has ulterior use. Vegas is hot again now, but not for the game. Even though it's still the American hub of gambling. Yeah. It's not hot for all of the gambling reasons. It's just becoming like a residential and lifestyle destination. So, come on out and, live the TB12 experience. But the product that they're putting out is, I just think right now, the way the Raiders are setting up, sure, they'll probably end up moving Crosby, let's say, to Dallas for like a 2 this year and a 2 next year. And that 2 becomes a 1 if he plays 80% of the snaps or something like that. There'll be conditions and caveats and disclaimers all over the contract. They have to move him, though, ASAMFP, because once the new league year begins Wednesday at 4 p.m., all of a sudden,
today,
of these today, all of these insane contracts,
3 hours,
like Jalen Naylor and Tyler Linderbaum. Oh my God, 3 years, $81 million for a freaking center. I get it. It's important to re-anchor your line. And as we saw during the Super Bowl, that's what wins games, boring and snoozy as it may be. But Christ on rye, like the whole thing will blow up. And the rest of the NFL is like, I wouldn't have gotten Rashawn Gary, or Patriots are like, we didn't really want Tremont Jones. That's Timu Maxx Crosby. We would have gone for the real one if we knew, or Trey Hendrickson. So the landscape is completely just like an ant farm that somebody just grabbed and shook up now, and everyone's angry. And I don't hate it because it's fun to talk about.
It is. It's fun to talk about is that the Jets have reacquired Geno Smith, which is one of the most hysterical stories in recent memory in the NFL for a clown show franchise to Fitzy. I mean, this is a gift to you guys in Boston radio. This is a gift.
Have you ever flicked a cigarette on the sidewalk, but then you're like, well, maybe I can just go grab it and get one more drink.
Oh yeah,
right.
Those great nights.
Oh, sidewalk butts are the best butts. Or like your friend finishes a piece of pizza and you're like, are you not going to eat your crust? And you're like, but wait, you don't know where that mouth has been. That's exactly what the Jets are doing right now. You did this before. You saw how it ended. Nobody liked this movie. I hate to say it, but they finally wrote back to Geno Smith and they told him, you're not that good anymore. I mean, the Jets continue to just do Jets things. Nobody can Jets it up like the Jets do. And while I actually like some of their free agency moves on defense, like they'll be a much more competent defense, and they've got a lot of draft picks. I ask you this: is there any franchise you would trust less with all of the assets and draft picks that the Jets have than the New York Jets?
No. And that's my point about. Go ahead.
I was going to say, but even like all those acquisitions, Fitzy, like on defense for him, they're all like in their mid 30s, right? And then they bring in Geno Smith. So it's a great way to go from 3-14 to 3-14 again. Then they lost their entire two starting guards, their interior offensive lines. Like, I mean, he's not coming into a great situation, but I don't know if like I'm the Jets and you're just one of the many sad Jets fans out there. My attention is already on the 2027 draft.
Yes.
That's it.
Yep.
Yeah. And then so are the Dolphins. And that's where I looked at the division, and people have been saying, like, Diana Rossini, who I like, is like, expect a down year in New England. It's going to be disappointing. And I'm like, are you looking at the division? Because
why does it have to be disappointing?
Well, the Jets and the Dolphins are both telling you what they're doing. Like, it's clear that the Dolphins are taking $100 million in saying to Tua, you can have it and go play for somebody else. And they're completely okay with that.
And he'll actually be decent in Atlanta this year, filling in for Michael Penis Jr. while he rehabilitates his third ACL injury, right? Yeah. And like, let me ask you, how many other defensive coordinators and head coaches are like, oh my God, I can't believe I only have 6 months to prepare for Malik Willis and Jeff Hafley.
Right. Like it's the Packers. It's Timo Packers is what it is. I mean, so it's like
the
great.
Ocean State Job Lot Packers.
Yeah. So like, that's great. I'm glad that the Dolphins are going to do that, but they're going to try to win 4 games and they're going to try to reset their entire team, just like the Jets are going to do. And the Bills, look, I don't know what Joe Brady's going to look like with Buffalo. I think that they've got questions about players in their ability to keep Josh Allen in the window of winning championships right now. And I don't know how good of a coach he's going to be. So this is where I'm like, hold on a second with the division. It's Patriots can win 10 games and win the division, win 11 games, win the division pretty easily next year. It wouldn't stun me at all with that. So that's my anger with the national media. Everyone's running to bet under on the Patriot wins. And I'm like, okay, guys, like, hold on a second. And that's where the books made a big mistake with the Crosby situation, because they moved the Ravens to the favorite to win the AFC and they draw and they put their win total to 11.5, higher than anybody else. And now Maxx Crosby is not even going to be there for those folks that ended up betting into that market. So
was it like did it move two games for the win total?
Depends on the book. But it was 1.5 or 2 games. It moved up with Crosby. It went from 9 or 10 to 11.5.
That's and also think about all those Fanatics Maxx Crosby jerseys that were ordered. What are we going to do?
Right, you're going to be sent somewhere else.
Seal the number off or the name off. Those jerseys are.
Wait, you don't spell Crosby Crozbee? The hell?
I mean, I was at the Super Bowl, and I can tell you that it was weird to see black Patriot jerseys, because Fanatics had run out of the ability to get to make the Patriot jersey. And it was like they had to issue a statement to everybody in the media, like, here's why the team store has a black Patriot jersey, because the Patriots have never worn black ever. And so, like, what are you doing selling Patriot black jerseys? So yeah, Fanatics has not had a good couple of months.
Dude,
but
the threads are ass. Like, I've got hardcore Patriots fans who like live around my neighborhood, and they've ordered some of like what's supposed to be the high quality game jerseys. They are shit, dude. They look like
everything peels off. Like the quality is.
You get them at Walmart. It's like the discount knockoff. Seriously, on like the $10 jersey rack at Walmart.
It's such a bad look. There was that guy, they used to call him Spike King, Brian Babakian, Babs on the mic, and he went and met with him for hours and hours because to voice the dissent of the fans is just what a crappy product it is. And it just sort of like, I'm sure it was a great feedback for him and awesome for all of the optics, but they're not going to not sell, pardon my double negative, official Drake May jerseys for $250. Of course they're going to. Like they're making money hand over fist, and the common fan is screwed, blue, porked, and tattooed.
And how about like with the Red Sox 2 weeks ago? Like the Red Sox, remember they tweeted out like, these aren't the jerseys that like we wanted and talked to them about. And then they and then like an hour later they deleted the tweet. They're like, all right, we're going to work with Fanatics on this. It's like someone got in their ear. It's like, hey, Fanatics pays a lot of money.
Right.
I know we're going to talk about the Pats and the Jags and a few other things we love in the time we have left. But real quick, has there been a more embarrassing look for anything related to United States athletics or American sports than effing Mark DeRosa yesterday, letting the team stay up late and get hammered and enjoy those cigarettes off the sidewalk and party like it's 1999? thinking they had already made it into and then, literally showing up hungover and half-assed for the game against Italy.
The thing that I can't figure out
infuriating
about that is that he gave an interview to MLB Network the game before, the night before, and he said that we've made it to we don't really care about this game against Italy because we're going to play some guys who haven't played before. We're going to pitch some players, some guys who haven't thrown before in this to give them the World Baseball Classic experience because we've already made it to the quarterfinals. Nobody at MLB Network corrected him. And then nobody from the time that interview aired until the game said anything to him. And nobody in game said anything to him to change because he made no adjustments. He made no changes. They were down 8-0. And then somebody may have said, hey, Mark, if we lose this game, we might not actually make it to the quarterfinal round.
Yep.
That's my problem with the whole thing is that how did nobody have the idea to tell Mark DeRosa? Or if they did tell him, he just ignored it? Like, what the hell happened there?
I think
there's no way he ignored it. I think it's the fact that just no one went to him. No one went to him and said, hey, couldn't tell if you were just being like cocky, being like, we got this. Or if you just actually don't know the rule, like just win this thing. You win this thing, like we're good. But if you don't, and then like Mexico doesn't score more than like
5 runs
or some
Mexico
shit
has to score 5 or Italy has to win outright. And if I'm either of those teams, Emerson, I'm getting together somewhere between a plate of carne asada and the espresso machine. And I'm like, guys, let's go. In Italy, we call it il tango. Let's go. Let's just shit the bed today and keep USA out, which would be such a bad look because it looks like the greatest team ever assembled.
But we also, USA, we have a second team in Puerto Rico. Okay. So let's get behind Puerto Rico, everybody, because you know what? We were in Aspen, Matt. And you know Samir. Dude, Samir, we're out at dinner each night watching Puerto Rico dialed in because he's half Puerto Rican. And so I'm like, you know what? I want my boy to be happy. All my support now is behind Puerto Rico.
Well, I mean, the Dominican team, the Japanese team, I mean, there are some really cool lineups to watch and cool rosters to watch. I mean, I've been paying attention because obviously being a Red Sox fan, the number of Red Sox players who have been playing. I mean, Yoshida looks like he's Babe Ruth. So like we got guys who were just
and Roman Anthony is the truth and the future at Fenway. And if I can get this version of Jarren Duran all season, then I'll be banging the over on the Sox win total.
Wasn't that a Red Sox pitcher last night for Italy who struck out Judge and
Greg Weissert, who sucks usually?
He's a AAA guy. I mean, he's a minor league hand for the Red Sox who have been playing. I mean, the Red Sox have dominated, not just to make everything about Boston, but that's been one of those situations where we're watching it going like, okay, let's see what the Red Sox are going to be. And Fitzy, I've already bet it. I'm on the over for the Red Sox win total. And I do tend to shade. I mean, I bet the over on the Celtics, that cashed. I bet the over on the Bruins, that cashed. It's just, it's been like this revolving hatred in the market about the winning for Boston. Everybody is so pissed off about Boston winning that they're betting against it, and they're giving us depressed markets to bet on the over because the teams are outperforming it and really doing, a lot of work, from the gambling side of things to go in Patriots in the Super Bowl. Everyone thought, that was going to be a 5-win football team, right? Oh, they sucked last year. Vrabel's going to come in, and then, oh my God, they're in the Super Bowl. So it's been a good run here from a betting perspective.
And the things look great for the Celtics as well. I don't know what kind of future the Bruins hold. I'm in on the win total for the Sox. And as far as the Patriots go too, looking at their haul so far in free agency, I don't know how you feel about the Jags to date, Emerson, but like the Patriots have just done that midweek grocery shopping where it's like, we probably just, we need some bread. We're gonna we need some oatmeal. I'll probably get chicken nuggets to throw in the freezer for the kids. Like, it's a boring pantry packer of a shopping list. But guess what? A good edge rusher and a solid guard and another safety and a fullback and a receiver that's like to me, Romeo Doubs is like contemporary Deion Branch or Deion Branch plus. Like, this is everything that makes a Mike Vrabel defense and a Josh McDaniels offense work. So while the rest of the world is like, hey, Romeo Doubs, that's not how you fucking spell AJ Brown, mother effers. Like, sorry, you're not going to go back to your lunch of Budweiser and Keno and Newports, bro. Like, Mike,
Keno, dude.
Mike Vrabel knows what he's doing.
I mean, that's how I feel about Jacksonville because, like, we've spent the last few off seasons when it was like Trent Baalke and all these other dildos in the front office trying to win the offseason, spend all this cash. And then now it's like the Jags are in like really good position. So we're kind of sitting back. We're having patience. We lost a couple key guys in like ETN and Lloyd, but also like, hey, it's kind of helping us for 2027. We're going to get some compensatory like picks then, but we're also in good shape in the running back room, and also on defense. We can get maybe find some help in free agency in the defensive tackle category. Like we're in good shape. Like no turnover on the offensive line. We're pretty set. Everywhere else, like I'm not sitting.
AFC South is going to be fun again too. Yeah, AFC South will be fun. Tennessee spent. Tennessee definitely spent. The Texans re-signed Hunter. They add a bunch of because for some reason they decided to add more defense in the freaking free agency, so they'll be nasty. The Colts keep Pierce, still have prime Jonathan Taylor, decent line. We'll see what version you get of Indiana Jones. I have one question though, as it pertains for Matt and my Bostonian rooting interest. Why would the Jags take somebody like BTJ and sort of dangle him on the open market? Like why are they holding him out the window like Michael Jackson held his daughter one time years ago? Like
Emerson, you can answer this, but
he's good. What's up?
My thing is that they want him to get in line, that they're tired of his antics. So they threaten to trade him to say, hey, if you don't get in line, we're going to ship you out, and we don't care how good you are.
Light of fire under his ass. Obviously, if we could get him back to like what he was his rookie year. I mean, what totally screwed him, and I don't think this is talked about enough, is during the preseason against the Steelers, Lawrence threw him, the hospital ball, and he got the shit knocked out of him in a preseason game. So therefore, he was dropping everything between the hash marks last year, making some incredible sideline grabs. But if he was in traffic, you could tell he was in his own head. So hopefully he spends an offseason. Like it was all between the ears for him. Like he needed to talk to some kind of sports psychiatrist or something. I don't know. I have a great expensive therapist he could talk to if he wants. But real talk, no, we all know the talent there. And listen, if some team was to come and offer you, because we don't have a first round pick this year. So if let's say some team wanted to come along, offer you a first round pick, or like just a boatload of picks. I don't know. The Jags would listen. Like, we have Parker Washington. We have like Jacoby Myers. We got Brenton Strange. Like,
and you've got Travis Hunter didn't even play half a season for you guys last year too. Like that's like that's almost like drafting him all over.
Yeah, exactly. And I know that they want to keep him, I think, a majority of defense this upcoming year. But like finally, when they realized, wait, we can use them on the offense, it was that game where they got their shit pushed in against the Rams in London. That second half, he had like 9 catches, 100 yards, his first career touchdown. So finally, my Travis Hunter anytime touchdown bet every week finally hit, and then he was done. And then he was done. And Matt, you and I talked about it. It pissed me off at the time when people are like, "Oh, this is the wear and tear of going on both sides of the ball." It's like, dude, he hardly played any time. Like
your team was better without him. Yeah, I mean, it removed the distraction when they ended up moving him. But look, I know Fitzy's got to run, so I just want to ask. I want to ask Emerson you one question on the way out. Are you going to be covering in Rhode Island? Is DraftKings going to send you to the Travis and Kelsey, the Taylor and Kelsey wedding? Are you having to be on wedding duty in Rhode Island?
I would like to. I mean, hell, I wish I could officiate their wedding. If that would be amazing. I'm like a professional officiator now.
Have you done weddings? I've
done 2 weddings. I did Samir's in London last year, and then I've got my boy Howie. I've got his in New Hampshire this summer.
I got ordained like 15, 16 years ago, and online. You two can do it for $9. It's like $10.
Dude, it was free for me.
I'm an online minister.
That's phenomenal. So hey, Taylor Swift, Travis Kelsey, if you need an officiate, you got Emerson Lotzia can come on down.
I'll PA gladly anytime.
I'm just glad we get
whatever you need.
The party.
Yeah, you listen.
Kelsey Swift storylines for one more year, boys. One more year.
At least just one more year. That's just what we need.
Yeah, right. I thought
it's been awesome open to free agency. Like, did you ever think like, isn't this supposed to be like the undercarriage, like the taint of the sports year? Like no one is interested. Hockey, basketball. It's like before the tourney, not like, it's spring training. And yet it feels like the last 2 weeks have just been on fire. Like everything,
legal Olympics, WBC,
tampering.
The Olympics.
Awesome.
And we haven't even gotten to the World Cup yet. I mean, 26 is, I've talked to people in the sports betting world, and they have told me that they believe that 2026 will be, since legalization, this will be the biggest year for U.S. sports betting because of everything that's going on in America with the Olympics, with the World Cup, with the World Baseball Classic. There's just so much going on here in America that is just going to be an epic year that we haven't seen before from an overall handle perspective. So on that level, this is normally a quiet time, a quiet part of the season, but no, it's not been quiet. And well, March Madness starts here on Sunday. We get the bracket and everything else. So it's pretty wild. Gentlemen, I love catching up with you.
I'll get a raise next year. I like that.
That's good. Let's go.
Yeah, we just figure out who's going to pay for all that goddamn security down Gillette Stadium. Otherwise, the World Cup can go F itself.
Right? Seriously, that's $7 million.
The most Massachusetts thing ever. The gift of
Exactly.
the World Cup is that we don't have enough parking spaces for you. Why don't you take it down to Rentham, smart guy? 2
million people coming in, 5,000 parking spaces. That is New England in a nutshell in terms of how it's going to go.
It is chef's kiss masshole.
In
Thank
$7
God
million.
we have a reliable public transportation system.
Right? The Foxborough, Massachusetts. Yes, they absolutely. And then you have $7 million in taxpayer dollars need to be spent on security. And the town of Foxborough says, yeah, we're not paying it. So the World Cup is up in the air as to whether or not it's going to get played in Foxborough. Unbelievable. He is Emerson Lotzia. He is Fitzy from WEEI and from DraftKings Sportsgrid book. Gentlemen, thank you for being here. This was absolutely tremendous. We'll do it again soon, all right?
Can't wait, baby.
That being my conversation with the one and only Fitzy from WEEI and Emerson Lotzia from DK Sportsbook. Good job with those guys stopping in. Hope you guys enjoyed that conversation with those guys. Look, whenever we get a chance to talk to them, we're gonna jump on it because they're super fun and funny, and it's a nice change of pace for what we normally do. But let's talk about what happened last night. We'll fly through a couple of topics here. All right, what happened last night? Well, only one real big story to get into, and that's what happened with Bam Adebayo, who decided to go and put his name up there in the record books. He had 83 points last night in the win over the Wizards for the Miami Heat. Wilt Chamberlain scored 100, Kobe Bryant scored 81, and Bam Adebayo now at 83 points. I don't think anybody really thought that that's a name we would see up there. Luka's got 73. Now the watch is on for who's going to score 90, and then will we ever see somebody score 100 points? I think when you see teams willing to defer to a player, I mean, he had over 20 points in the first quarter. He hit everything. He got to the free throw line whenever he wanted to. Yeah, that was just a performance against a basketball team in the Wizards that had no real interest in playing defense at all. And Bam had an epic night. 83 points is 83 points. That is one of those nights that if you're an NBA fan and you're watching that game, you will remember exactly where you were watching Bam score 83 points. And yeah, I agree, Ish. If Bam can score 83, I fully believe we will see someone score 100 points one day. There's no debate in my mind. And frankly, I saw our guy Raheem Palmer tweet this out last night, I believe, during the game. He said that he had thought that we were going to get somebody to break Kobe's 81 points. He thought it would happen in the next 5 years. He now believes it's not going to be a Kobe record broken, just was. It will be Wilt Chamberlain, and I agree with him. I think the 100 mark is now the goal for somebody in the NBA with the overall reliance on the three-point shot and how so many of these teams on a given night will just punt. I mean, it's the Miami flu, right? Teams come in, they go out and party, and then they play the next day, and they're completely flat. If I had to pick which market it would happen in, betting on it being a Miami Heat player is probably pretty good, just because teams just don't. They go to South Beach and they just don't want to play the next day, especially if it's a bad year. I've talked to NBA guys who would tell me that they would literally circle certain trips, and the trip to Miami to South Beach, they always wanted to know, did we have an off day in between games? Meaning, would we play Tuesday, fly in Wednesday, and play Thursday? Because then Wednesday night, they're on South Beach. And, well, I don't think the Wizards ever got off the plane last night with an 83-point performance from Bam Adebayo. Let's jump down the rabbit hole. We talked a bit about it with the guys, with Fitzy and Emerson, but let's continue talking about Team USA and what the heck happened and what might happen today. Jumping down the rabbit hole, brought to you by our friends at Rabbet. You guys can use the code Rabbet5 at sign up to get 5 free Rabbet cash. What is Rabbet? Well, it's a place to challenge your friends, take your smack talk out of the group chat, and make it actually a reality. You're going up against your friends. You're setting the market. You're setting how much you're going to bet, not against the house, not against an algorithm. You get to create and share custom sports picks with Rabbet. Check it out by downloading the app in the Google Play or the Apple Store. Use that code Rabbet5 at sign up to get 5 free Rabbet cash on Rabbet. The Team USA situation is pretty darn embarrassing. I don't understand how in the world we got here with Team USA not understanding that they had to win the game last night to advance and win their pool. They thought they had already won their pool, and they did not. This could go down as one of the most embarrassing moments in USA baseball history. The fact that Team USA did not know the rules and that Mark DeRosa did not know the rules as to what could happen if they lost to Italy. And they lost to Italy 8-6 last night. They were down 8-0 before Team USA finally woke up and realized that they might get knocked out of the World Baseball Classic, given on the tiebreaker situation, which is really crazy because Mark DeRosa is supposed to be aware of everything going on, and he was not. This is him appearing on MLB Network saying, quote, "It's weird. We want to win this game against Italy, even though our tickets punched to the quarterfinals." The ticket had not been punched to the quarterfinal, and now Team USA is in danger of missing out on the knockout round. This puts a spotlight on Mark DeRosa that he wasn't expecting, a spotlight on this game today between Italy and Mexico that most people were not expecting. And here are the scores in which to pay attention to. Italy 8, Team USA 6. As Jeff Passan of ESPN wrote, one of the biggest upsets in World Baseball Classic history as the Americans go down. Aaron Judge was up with a tying run with 2 outs in the 9th. Greg Weisser struck him out, Red Sox. And Americans' ability to advance now depends on the Italy-Mexico game on Wednesday night. If Italy wins, Team USA advances. Mexico wins 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 2-1, 3-1, 3-2, 4-0, 4-1, 4-2, and 4-3. Team USA will be eliminated. Anything else, 5-0 win for Mexico, 5-4 win for Mexico, Team USA advances based upon the tiebreaker. What is the tiebreaker? You guys ready for this? Check out the tiebreaker. This is insane. Lowest quotient of fewest runs allowed by defensive outs recorded in games between teams that are tied for a 3-team tiebreaker. The 2-team tiebreaker is it's head-to-head. It's easy. But we're going to have a 3-team tiebreaker. Lowest quotient of fewest runs allowed divided by the number of defensive outs recorded in games between the teams that are tied. If that's still tied, highest batting average in games between the teams that are tied, and then they draw out of the hat. Heading into the Wednesday Pool B final, Team USA, 11 runs allowed, 54 defensive outs. That whole out thing is weird. Mexico, 5 runs allowed in 24 defensive outs. In Italy, with 6 runs allowed in 27 defensive outs. That is beyond complicated. That is not straightforward. That is very difficult. And it's just typical. Like, this feels like a soccer thing to me. This doesn't feel like baseball. Recorded outs? How many outs you record in it? So what happens if you run rule somebody? Like, wait, I don't understand. I don't get it. I'm not smart enough to really understand all of this, but it seems to be ridiculous that this is the tiebreaker. And the Team USA might find themselves out of the World Baseball Classic today if it's a 5, if we went up with a 2-0 win for Mexico, okay? 2-1 win for Mexico, 3-0 win for Mexico. You got to go into this cheering for Italy. That's the simplest thing. Italy wins, but as Emerson and Fitzy said, don't you just come up with some plan? If you're one of these, if you're both these two teams, let's keep the Americans out. Like, you knock out the Americans. Yes, the Dominicans are there, and yes, the Japanese will be formidable, but you're knocking off a team with 22 all-stars on the roster. If you play your cards right, you're going to eliminate the Americans. It's right there. So now we all get to watch this game tonight to see how this thing goes down between Italy and Mexico. It has way bigger implications than anybody thought. Italy wins, America goes through. Mexico wins, the final score matters. That's the best way to figure this out. Cheer for Italy to win the game today. Do they want to? Well, they win the pool if they win. They win the pool, so they get the easier game in the quarterfinal. So that's the one saving grace for Team America if that were to happen. The Italy has a big incentive to go ahead and win. As Eric writes, Team Mexico will 100% make sure U.S. does not make it, and I look forward to the tactic going into the game. I don't know. Again, it comes down to Italy. If Italy wins, but then you're asking Italy to throw the game, and then you're asking Mexico to win the game by the right score. There's a lot of variables there. It's hard to play baseball and throw a game like that. Ask the Black Sox. But we'll see how it all plays out here. But it's very possible that Team USA will not be part of the knockout round, which is absolutely insane. If you are watching live, don't move. More coming on bonus time. If you guys are with us on the Sports Grid replay, thank you for being here. My thanks to Fitzy and Emerson Lotzia for stopping on by. And our thanks, obviously, to BetCris Arizona for being the presenting sponsor of BvB. More to come in bonus time. Don't move. I can't wait to see that game tonight. I mean, I think the play would be the under, right? Like if you're looking for an angle to bet it, the angle would be the under in the game, because I don't think either team, if you're going to talk about conspiracy theory, nobody wants to score. Keep the scores down. So maybe bet the under in the game. I don't know. Bad move, Mark DeRosa. Yikes. For the Americans to get bounced, that is an embarrassing situation if that happens coming up here tonight between Italy and Mexico. 2 bets for college basketball that we can get into. So I'm currently on Arizona State plus the points against Iowa State. Dead wrong. Absolutely dead wrong. I missed 6 bets yesterday. I'm going to start the day 0-1 today because it's currently 60-27 with 12 to play in the second half. Now, it is Hilton South down there, okay? And I was nervous about this because Arizona State, Bobby Hurley is going to be out. I thought they would lose their first game. I didn't think they would beat Baylor yesterday. And when they beat Baylor, I went, okay, well, maybe they are going to play hard for Hurley and they're going to not want to send him out, because if he loses this game today, Hurley is out from Arizona State. But that building at 12 o'clock, I thought, well, it was a night game. Cyclone fans are going to be all over Arizona State, and the Cyclones just beat Arizona State by 20. So maybe there's some pride that goes into that. And so I took the 11.5. Nope. That deficit is currently 33 points for Arizona State against Iowa State. So I will start the day 0-1 betting. And this is what, you get into these hot streaks last week, and I can't get a bet right to save my life this week. So just the way things go. Other plays I have made in the Big 12 tournament. I think BYU beats West Virginia here. They lost to West Virginia about 2 weeks ago. And I think BYU, after their win yesterday, I think BYU has a chance to make a run here with AJ and company. I think this is where one player can take over and one player can be great. I like the over in the game too. You want to bet the over? I think that's a decent play, but I like BYU to cover a 4.5 point number today. Yesterday I laid 4.5 with Wright State. They won by 3. So when you do get over 2 possessions, it can be a little bit dangerous in these tournaments. So that's definitely there. And, it's tough. I like BYU. I'm laying the 4.5 with BYU against West Virginia. And then finally, I like the over in UNLV in Wyoming. The money is coming in on the under. KenPom likes this to almost go to 160. UNLV at home this year was a complete over team, and they're at home. Now, it's the Mountain West Conference tournament, but it's at Thomas and Mack. So their game routine, sure, it won't be their typical same game day presentation, but it's their building, it's their locker room, it's their fans. So, Wyoming whipped UNLV in Wyoming, and that game went over. So they played one time. It went over. I think this is at 154. I think we're going over here between UNLV and Wyoming. I think we're going to be in for a fun basketball game coming up here tonight out west in the Mountain West Conference tournament. But I like UNLV. UNLV only laying 3.5. I don't mind laying it with UNLV either, but I mean, take these bets with a grain of salt, because at the moment, maybe it means I'm going to be hot for the NCAA tournament, and maybe that's good news that I'll be better for the NCAA tournament. But I really like betting. I think this week is an easier bet than next week, but right now that's not being proven to be at all accurate. It's been a very, very hard week for me betting wise here. So 0-1, Arizona State got smoked today. And I thought the body clock thing, I knew about it. I mean, the body clock thing for Arizona State playing at noon, I thought that was going to be an easy thing. It's 9:00 Pacific time, so I thought they'd be able to overcome it. No, no, they've been completely smoked by Iowa State, 60-27. The Cyclones are shooting 51%. Arizona State is shooting 32%. They are 1 of 13 from 3. That's 8%. Iowa State is 6 of 17. That's 35%. And, Arizona State scored 16 points at half, 11 points here in the second half, and we are well on our way, unless there is a crazy run for the Sun Devils. That will be a loss for me here to start the day, unfortunately. Let's talk favorite thing about today. Look, favorite thing for me today is having a chance to catch up with Emerson and Fitzy and have them be a part of the program consistently and be here. And, yesterday we had Coach James Young on yesterday. JY stopped by. Tomorrow was going to be Casey Hudson, but she's had to move to next week due to a conflict. So Casey will be on next week talking hockey. We'll probably talk NFL football tomorrow. From a guest perspective, I'm talking to a couple people about joining the show tomorrow. And then Friday, again, a reminder that the show is going to be early. It's going to be at 8:00 in the morning on Friday. Adam Bjorn will stop on by for his weekly conversation with us. We will do that at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern time, because I'm on a plane at 12 Pacific back to the East Coast. No show Monday, no show Tuesday. And then we get going on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for the NCAA tournament. We will be on the air during the games on Thursday and Friday. So normal schedule, 1 p.m. We will watch it. And tomorrow on the show, I will have the announcement for our NCAA tournament bracket contest. So if you're looking to get into one, everyone's going to have one, but I'm going to make the announcement coming up tomorrow on the show with the code, registration, and everything else. We're doing an ATS Survivor contest coming up for the NCAA tournament, which will start next Thursday. So it won't be for the Dayton games. It will start Thursday, but you must pick one winner, ATS winner, a day for the NCAA tournament. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you must pick a winner ATS wise. I can't wait to see how many people make it out of the first weekend, because that's not easy to do. I mean, this is going to be fun. ATS contest. This is a challenge. And for everybody that loves to bash me whenever I'm cold, well, okay, guys, here's your shot. Here's your chance to prove how good you are against the spread. All on you. Pick one winner a day to advance. So against the spread, ATS Survivor contest will start a week from tomorrow. $25 entry. I think we're going to do, no, it's not. It's just an ATS challenge. So we're not doing a bracket pool. It's just an ATS challenge every day with the bracket. So each day, different bracket. You got to go onto the website and enter in your pick each day before the games begin. So not two separate contests. It's one contest, $25 to go into it. I think we're gonna do 3 entries that you can go ahead and come up with for that. So maximum of 3 entries into the contest. Maybe we might do 4 just to make it easy, make it $100 to get in, to get 4 entries into that. But winner take all. ATS contest, Survivor contest for the NCAA tournament. So we will do that coming up. Yeah, that was the Survivor TD contest was cool. We'll do another one of those next year for football. This is the basketball version, except it's ATS. So I think, to be honest, I think the Survivor touchdown contest was more difficult than this is going to be. I mean, I think there are some games that you can look at and go, all right, that team's going to cover, but just sides, no totals. So just sides coming up. So full details coming up on the show tomorrow. We'll break it all down. My thanks to Fitzy and Emerson for stopping by, be a part of the program with our NFL Roundtable on free agency. BetCris Arizona, our presenting sponsor. Thank you always to them. We are back tomorrow for a 1 p.m. Thursday's edition, the Bostonian versus the Book.